So the water is about halfway up on the legs of the 240-pound man or 250-pound man, counting his head. I put a flotation device under the head so that no water would go in the face mask. Point to note is that halfway up the suit, and you can see the water coming up halfway up the suit, the legs are already beginning to float at the feet because of the amount of air probably that's in there between all of those bottles of water. And then the arms are beginning to float, but the body itself, the water is really only about a third of the way up the body. So it's firmly planted on the concrete under this pool right now. Anyway, that's where we are. We'll keep filling. We have about 6 inches of water now in our simulation, and with 210 bottles of water weighing about 245 pounds and a cantaloupe in the head totaling 250 pounds in a 110 to 330 pound survival suit. Anyway, I'm going to show you that already the legs are floating, and it appears the body is almost floating. I've got the head propped up so we can move this guy. I can see he's still touching the ground, but we've got a lot of flotation, more than I would have expected. So probably because there's a lot of air in the suit, but we'll find out. The 250-pound bottled water guy in the survival suit is actually floating very well, and you can see how much freeboard he has in his legs, in his body there, and in his arms. I've had to put flotation under his head, although that probably might float too for all I know, but I'm not sure if it's floating because of the air that's trapped inside of the suit or because of the actual flotation of the suit. If it's true, that means that suit will float maybe 500 pounds, not just 330, which that's the weight rating. But anyway, what we'll do is once this pool is full, I'm going to try to burp out all of the air in there and then get a picture of what the flotation is, and then I'll start introducing gallons of water through that pipe if they'll go in there. If not, I'll just maybe pick his head up and introduce it through the face mask, which is probably the normal way, or maybe even unzip him a little bit and see how much water will go in there, but I won't be able to meter it. Anyway, it's an ongoing experiment, but my guy floats pretty darn good. 250 pounds worth of weight in that suit, mostly in the form of 210 bottles of water and one cantaloupe. We'll see how this goes. So this is our 110 to 330 pound survival suit, who is now floating freely in the pool. And what I've done is started adding water through that pipe there, and I've managed to get in 10 gallons of water. When he was floating freely before, the arms were all the way out and the legs were. Now it appears that the trunk, a lot of the water must be going toward the gluteus maximus region of the suit, and the arms are actually beginning to sink a little bit, and the head too. I had to reposition the, that's actually my dog's life jacket, to hold the cantaloupe head out of the water so I could keep metering the water. I didn't want water to go in the face of it without me knowing how much goes in. So we've got 10 gallons of water, which is the equivalent of 83 pounds, have been added to the already 250 pounds. So we've got 333 pounds, give or take, of liquid material within this suit, and it still floats fairly well, which tells me that the 3,300 pound or 330 pound number on the survival suit means you can get a 330 pound guy in there, but it's still got flotation probably to 500 pounds. We'll find out by adding water, but this is just 10 gallons of water I put in there, and it's already starting to sink. So I'll add keep adding water and see at what point that survival suit sinks. I'm also going to try to, well, actually I can do it on camera, but if a lot of the water I'm putting into there is going to the lower part where his bum is, I'm going to try to push a leg down and see if, I'll hold it down a little bit, down in the water, and what I'm trying to see is if some of the water that's up there pooled at the deepest gravity point, which is where his bum is, if any of it comes down into the leg. And it doesn't appear that had much of an effect, so I've still got a lot of room in these legs for water, so I should be able to sink them, you know, because there's a lot of air inside of there in between those bottles of water, 210 bottles of water. So there you have it. Captain Warren Good, Palm Coast, Florida, doing my survival suit experiment out of curiosity. There you go.